Welcome back to maybe one of our ever favorite topics of the Careful Boys, where today we got to talk about some boy bands.
Like NWA?
That is a boy band.
Yeah, boy band.
It's one of my favorite ones.
Sugar Hill Gang?
One of my favorite ones.
Yes. Do you have a favorite boy band?
Maybe the Republican Party?
Alright. You know why I say this? True thing right now. You can quote me on this in the who knows near future when this video comes out in 2 years. But there is a race between record labels right now to build the next boy band.
Interesting.
Wow.
What's the most recent one in America?
One Direction?
In America, yeah,
Isn't that
maybe.
the UK?
Oh yeah, they are.
Right?
They're all foreign.
Yeah, then I don't know about America. Because I would say the most successful global boy band,
Backstreet or NSYNC?
I would say like maybe you might even consider like BTS.
Oh, worldwide.
Korean though, does that count?
That's the thing. This
Is it global?
this boy band race, I believe, I've heard,
Is to take that crown back?
is both happening in Korea and in America.
Wow.
It's a giant race.
Do you feel? Who do you feel is like more equipped to win that?
Koreans.
Koreans, I feel like they've been perfecting that model for such a long
Because
time now.
is BTS, was it the first channel that hit like 1 billion views or something? Or
They were, they're on
boy band hit
some
billion or some shit?
mega stuff.
they have some crazy metric though.
And then they took like a couple year break because they all went to the military. But the thing is, in less than 3 months, they all come back.
3 months? I thought the service was like 2 years or some shit.
Yeah, I think they like stopped like 2 years ago or something like that.
Oh, you said they're returning to
Or
their...
different because they're of different
Tour.
ages. Yeah, so like in less than 3 months, they're all gonna be back.
Oh.
But they're all gonna be older, you know. So like there's
That charm.
a need to fill that like boy band void.
And that's probably one of the most ultimate mega cash machines.
And apparently the market is just primed for that right now.
What do you think?
The boy band age is like 15 to maybe... Because after 20, I feel like you're too old.
Yeah. It's as long as you got that teen glow, that Justin Bieber like I can save this little boy type thing. I don't know.
Because I think college
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
and older is already too late.
Are you talking about the demographic or the people in the boy band?
In the
People
band.
in the band.
They have to be for sure earlier than 20.
Even we were talking about it yesterday, right? Tate McRae's got like that like Britney icon.
How old is she though?
I don't know, but she kind of like hit that younger, like teen-ish, like it's that weird age where like a younger kid or a teen or a teeny bopper can like look up to, but then it's like that oddly younger where it's like slightly older people can still be a fan of. Remember how like the craze of Justin Bieber, like way older people were like infatuated with him?
But then this fool looked way older than he started. Joey Fatone or whatever. This fool- I thought this fool was already like, I'm like, did they let the dad in here
When
or
they
what?
first started?
Yeah.
What did he look like when they first
Joey
started?
Fatone already looked fucking like a dad.
Kinda.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know,
looked
man.
older, but he just looked like the older brother.
Nah, he looked like the dad.
Wait, how old?
It's the beard, yo.
The members of NSYNC, how old were they
He
when
looked
they
like
first
the dad on
started?
TRT trying to fucking jump in the mix.
Do you think New Kids was the original boy band in America? New Kids on the Block?
They were, yeah, but they didn't have this like teen magnificence of like these young vocals too, right? With like the high pitch, like these are kind of kids. And like the Backstreet to like NSYNC era was like, that was like global fucking phenomenon type shit too.
So Justin Timberlake was started in NSYNC when he was 16, I think.
Whoa, see, that's a real
Yeah, that's
boy.
boy band.
No, he became a member of NSYNC when he was 14.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, they start real young. Dude, I didn't even realize how young they were because we were kids too.
We were kids, but they were older than us.
Yeah.
That fool been balling.
Killing it.
Damn.
Well, even before that, he was a part of the Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah, some of these fools know what they want.
So they're like child stars.
That's crazy.
I do think the boy band age is, anywhere from 14 to... You're going to age out in your early 20s, depending on how young you look.
Yeah.
I think like Tevin Campbell recorded Can We Talk when he was like 14 or 15 too. You know that song? Can we talk?
Oh, yeah.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
He's 14.
Yeah, I think it was 14 or 15. Yeah.
B2K. Remember? They came to our school.
Hey. How old were they? Probably.
They were
also
probably the same
teens.
age. Yeah.
Trying to get us to vote or some shit, bro.
Hey.
Yeah, they were also 98 to 2004 was like their kind of reign.
I think because their fan base is probably like junior high to early high school. Because I don't really imagine senior girls in high school still being into them.
Interesting.
Yeah, I feel like middle school is like
Middle school.
It's just the young teenage
12,
that's
12
like
to like 14 is probably where they murder, dude.
Yeah.
Like on the demographics. Because I remember when NSYNC was out, Tiff was like, she would go to every concert when she was a kid.
Wow.
And that was like in middle school. Like they would always try to get tickets on the radio and shit. Every time they came around. And that was like middle school.
Get about it, but Hannah explained it really well for me. Because I was like, man, like, who's actually listening to it? Well, for one, it's like, I know it's kids, but then, like, clearly, like, women, they don't find them attractive because they're, like, boys, right? So I was like, but what is it about it? And then she's like, it's a young girl's way into sexuality. So it's like their first crush, but a man is too intimidating for them. Where, like, guys, it's like,
you can't have like 5 Jason Momoas.
it's too crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's too much man for anybody.
Because I was originally thinking, like,
WWE.
dude,
That's what we like.
because youthful boys are kind of girly, right? So then
Yep.
I'm like, how come they're kind of feminine and like, is that what women like? And she goes, no, not women, but girls. Girls like, yes. I didn't get that. Maybe you know,
Yep.
because you're more part of that dance world and entertainment. Like you do backup dancing for them and all that, and then you see the audience, right? But I'm like, I thought girls liked a man, like a Wolverine or whatever. Yeah. And she goes, no, that's like too much. Cause she's like, you never had that stage where like, you didn't go full on like Pamela Anderson. You went like halfway and then Pamela. I'm like, no. As fucking third graders, boys like Pamela and 20-something-year-olds. That's it. Like you wake up one day, you're like, oh yeah, I wish I was 21 because I want to date her.
I mean, we still enjoyed like the Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah, we did, but
We still liked oh my god, what were their names? Who were like the teeny, like even I remember even thinking like Mandy Moore was fine when I was a kid. You know when you used to like go into the library and rip magazine things and stick them in your fucking folder in like the sleeve so you can just like stare at like random chicks. Britney Spears was definitely
like all of them,
Topanga.
they were appropriate our age class. But I would say we like them, and we also like Christina Applegate. Like there was no like, oh no, she's too sexy. There's too much,
That's true.
right?
Yeah,
But women, I
We
guess
don't have a too much meter.
they have they need the stages of like.
Shield.
Justin Bieber is more non-threatening and safer, and like, oh, I could see him being my boyfriend. And then when they're grown up, they're like, Jason Momoa, I'm a woman and ready for you.
I see. That's an interesting perspective.
Yeah, but boys don't really have that.
That's true, huh? I never thought about it that way.
Dude, B2K hit for me when I was young. They were like
They were a kid too. I mean, they were a boy band too, right? They're kids.
An American pop boy band, yeah.
Do you think there's ever gonna be a co-ed like teen band?
It'll never work, dude. It'll never work.
I don't think so. I don't think it will work.
Probably marketing wise, it's probably easier when it's all girls or all boys.
Yeah, I feel like the dynamic. If you're trying to create fandom,
Yeah.
you want girls that love or guys that love.
But wouldn't that be interesting to see though?
Yeah, it would be interesting.
I would just want to
Spice
see it
Girls.
one time, you know, like not for the profitability of it or whatever.
I
But
don't know if like teenager, but I think like really young adult, yeah.
But I think the biggest consumer of pop music, of like, let's say Spice Girls, NSYNC, all that, I think they're all 14-year-old girls.
Like, would you consider Boyz II Men a boy band?
When they first came out, they were.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know, because R&B to
Now
me
they're men.
aren't boys. I mean, they're not boy bands
Yeah,
to
I
me.
think it's a
R&B is
separate
like you're singing
category.
about like
Yeah.
love.
It's adult shit.
we're
yeah.
thinking like pop, right?
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
pop is what makes it a boy band.
Yeah.
And then like they're dancing and shit, and then like
What about is it Naughty by Nature or
Nah, they're like a group,
or
bro.
Immature
maybe immature.
Immature.
Yeah.
or like
By default.
who sings Brandy coated range.
Fuck.
My candy rain.
Yeah, Candy Rain.
Oh, dude.
Soul for Real.
Yeah.
Is that considered?
I think that's R&B though.
Yeah.
That's a whole separate category.
Once you go R&B, it's like that's like low key like.
Boy band is pop music. Yeah, it's pop music.
Honestly, in America, when I think of boy band, I just think of like white guys. That's it. Like as soon as
Korean guys now.
you said what?
Or Korean guys now.
That's true. That's definitely later.
B2K was a boy band.
Yeah.
But there's like Hanson. I mean, that's kind of a boy band, right? And then like, yeah. And if you think about like even in like black music back in the day, like the Jackson 5 or like there's young boy kind of band. But when I think of a boy band, I'm thinking about their demographic is girls that want to be their boyfriends.
Yeah. That's very specific.
Yeah. So it's like love songs made for teeny boppers.
Yeah, for sure.
Did Hannah have a band that she liked growing up?
She said she got into K-pop.
Really?
Hannah got into K-pop?
Yeah,
Oh,
she
yeah.
like I forgot the names.
Big Bang.
Maybe.
GOT7.
Maybe.
HOT was our era, like young.
Yeah.
Was it the more newer bands or she's talking about like old school K-pop?
She's the same age as Nick.
32.
Yeah, that means she might have been into like EXO, GOT7, Icon.
But I don't know if that was her boy band stuff. She said that her first crush was Vegeta on Dragon Ball.
So funny, bro. That's hilarious.
But
D Crush.
Her first crush was a cartoon.
Vegeta.
Level 9000.
Joe's Vegeta to me. I think of Joe as Vegeta.
Joe's pretty
So
Vegeta.
funny. So she goes, I got my Vegeta.
And it's like, can you do it again, Joe? Kakarot.
Put the M on your forehead.
And then she said like K-pop wasn't that in when she was into it.
Oh.
So it was, but there was no word for like weeb either. But she's not a weeb.
Korea
So, like-
boo.
K-pop. See, K-pop's a crazy, like, extreme version of like that character arc where, like, even the record labels won't allow them, for example, in their contract, like, you can't have girlfriends.
Yeah.
You can't post anything about it because, like, you need to preserve this image that you are like within reach, so that people love you. Like, there's like even with Chinese pop stars and stuff that like the boy band pop type of singers. Like, it's a huge cultural thing where, like, girls will show up to tour, like, concerts in wedding dresses. And they're not, like, the crazy, like, glamorous, like, long tail type, but it's just, like, the wedding dress, like, white, like, themed kind of look. Veil or type shit. Like, it's a huge cultural thing because there's, like, the, like, make me your wife, but it's not serious, like, where... Like, the boyfriends will take the girls who are in love with the pop stars, and the boyfriends will just sit there and endure it.
This is kind of cosplay then.
Yeah, it's like cosplay, but it's just like that. Like,
That's how cooking starts. I don't like this.
Shit.
You know what though? I think for the race, who's gonna win? I think it's gonna be Korea because of like either the labor laws or something.
They got less laws for sure.
Korea, they just discipline their kids differently than Americans. You know.
well, the thing is, they'll create boy bands regardless, but like the one that pops off and like takes like the world by storm, aka the next like BTS of this generation, who's to say? You know, I think even America's primed for that right now in our pop music market.
Well, I have a question about BTS because I don't really know about K-pop in general. Like, I thought it was like a newer thing, like in the later 2000s. Like, I didn't know it was like going on for so long. But like, why do you think BTS popped off so crazy over all these other K-pop groups?
Dude, their music's just way better because it was like getting good, and then when BTS came out, it got really good. Like, production got really good, choreography got really good, and then their faces, like their specific faces, people were just in love with them.
Really?
It's like a flavor. Yeah, just a fit.
Right time, right place.
Styles were cool. Like, if you compare them as a boy band to the previous ones, like they're just newer, younger, fresher. Like, it's just better, you know.
And like, I think the traditional concept in like American media would be like let's go find talent, right? Whereas like over there, they're like, let's breed it. You know, like, you submit your kid to like instead of going to traditional schooling, you go to like this underground, almost like a college,
Like K-pop Academy.
trainee, and then from there it's like they're not groomed is not the right word, but like literally I was just over there at one of the larger record labels to do a trainee training workshop, and I'm just teaching like 12 to like 17-year-old boys, and they're like this big to like taller than me because they like hand pick different labels are picking different looks.
They're good at manufacturing talent. Because the way I see it is, I don't know if I heard that they do this in Japan too, but like they'll have that school, and then they pick the best. It's like a special ops. Like that's the military, that's the army, and then from the cream of the crop, they'll pick the best and they'll assemble the special ops out of that.
Well, Korea does it really good because they'll have like all these people training, right? It's almost like Survivor, Squid Game type stuff. All these people are training, and then from there, the best go into a pool that go into a reality TV show of like making the band. And then from there, they're competing, blah 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 blah, doing challenges, and like their normal school routine is like singing lessons, dance lessons, blah 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 blah, all these different things. And then they make the band, but it's via reality TV show. So by the time this band is assembled, and they don't even have a song yet, their fanship and their followers and their love and adoration is already at a high level. So then they drop their single, which is basically what happened on that Netflix show that was an American version of a K-pop record label that did it here with Cat's Eye. Same thing. It was you guys know about the Netflix show that created that all-girl group Cat's Eye? It's literally what they do in Korea, but they did it over here, and we made a Netflix special about it where it's making the band, but by the time Cat's Eye was chosen, all the winners are there, there's already an entire relationship with their fan base, and then they drop a single. So like imagine back in the day, it's like you maybe...
Damn, that's how they're doing it now.
A label might put together a band, and then you make a song, and then you drop it, and you'd have to like fucking make sure the radios are playing, you market and billboard everywhere and all that stuff. This is completely different in today's age because now this group's already got like 2 million followers because they just watched them on a TV show. Now put a song on them.
You know what must it feel like to like go through all this like studying and practicing and hours and stuff? Like, do you think that takes the fun out of doing the art? Because versus
it doesn't matter, you're a cash machine, baby.
For us as artists, like we did it because of passion, and that's what drove us to get better. But for these kids, it's like they might have an interest, and maybe their parents like wanted them to like, you know, go through this training thing, and so them it's like all work. So imagine by the time you're like a famous artist, like do you even love what you're doing anymore? That's what I wonder.
I think so. I mean,
What's the top in America right now? Pop? Is it Sabrina Carpenter? Do you think? Like who's the top?
You think it's T Swift still?
Taylor Swift, for sure.
It's probably still like the top pop artist.
I
like,
just
for
learned
sure.
who Tate McRae was the other day. I've never heard her music, but I know everyone's like, dude, Tate McRae. All the young kids are like, I love her.
I think America is really good at manufacturing an artist that seems authentic. Like this is their story, this is their voice, and then you follow this human, and then when you hear their song, you don't know that it's a writer, and then the persona is created. You think it's an authentic person, and then they speak to you. And then I think in Asia, they know it's manufactured, but it still speaks to them, you know?
Yeah, because it's dope. It's because to them, it's like this is all the hard work that they put in to get this result. You know.
But then in America, I think like they are really good at creating this story of like this is who they really are, but they're manufactured too.
For sure.
Like a lot of them are studio manufactured.
Yeah, I wonder how many American artists actually write their own stuff, like, you know, do everything on their own, and then the PR people come in and go, let's make a story around this.
I think we're
all over the place.
starting to lose that.
Wikipedia, who wrote their songs.
Yeah, because back, I think it was more common to have multi-talented like artists like that can act, that can sing, that can write their own shit, that can dance and all that. But I think now it's so much more manufactured with a team.
This is like the argument at the Grammys too. It's like Beyonce, who has like 50 different writers and stuff to like make a single album, whereas like Billie Eilish and her brother write every song on their song.
And that's crazy.
But it depends on just how many people value what cultural thing.
But I do think American music though is like less. So K-pop reminds me of innocent stuff that's still PC.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And they don't have like the more like American music is more sexual, adult content. There's more pain in the songs. There's more like suffering in the songs. There's more like rawness, and we do have pop too. But I do think like the music industry has a lot more of that. Whereas Korean pop music, it's just the pop. Yeah, they don't they don't go beyond that. So like we have crossover like Sabrina Carpenter can be pop, right?
Yeah.
Or like sometimes you have these edgy artists, even fucking what's it? Oh, brain fart. Wet Ass Pussy can be pop.
Cardi B.
Cardi B, yeah.
Wow, to me how like songs like that it popped off, right? But
Yeah.
then in other countries that would never fly.
Yeah, it'll still be
You know?
underground. Like
Yeah.
the government wouldn't allow that to be pop.